Do you still live at home? Are you literally still living in your mommy's and daddy's basements? You're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you're supposedly this man who's supposed to be independent, but you fucked up something in life, you didn't figure out a career, you dropped out of college, you divorced, and you're back in with your parents. Well, you can change that today. You have to become a man of action. I'm telling you this from experience. In my late 20s, I found myself living back at home with my mommy and daddy like a complete fucking loser. And honestly, it sucked. My body was complete trash. I was very overweight. I was very unhealthy. I was addicted to cigarettes. I was drinking all the fucking time. I was gross. I fucking hated it. I had over $120,000 of debt. I had tons of student loans, credit card debt. I had just a little bit of savings. I was entirely reliant on my fucking mommy and daddy to take care of me in my late 20s. Eventually, I got a shitty ass job working at Black Eyed Pea. If you guys know anything about fucking Black Eyed Pea, that restaurant, man, I was better off. Instead of being a server, I should have been a dishwasher because at least I would have made more money at minimum wage. But I eventually took action. I said to myself, I'm not happy with the circumstances that I'm in. Now, mind you, this was like 10 years ago. Okay? This was like about 10 years ago where I found myself living at home with my mommy and daddy. Now, I'm making over $10,000 a month. I'm living great. I live in my dream home. I drive my dream car. I'm super happy. I have a beautiful fiance. We're going to get married soon. We're going to have a kid soon. Like, this is working out great for me. But 10 years ago, man, I was completely lost. And I picked up a great book. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I highly recommend it to you. Everybody that I know that is CEO, executive level in the corporate world, a lot of entrepreneurs, they've read that book. So if you're lost out there the way I was, if you're some fat, gross bitch or some wimpy ass skinny dude who's still living at home with mommy and daddy, and you want to turn around your life, you can do it. And I'm not telling you it's going to take 10 years. That's me 10 years now. But I took care of it over a couple of years. It could take you a lot less time than it took me. And I hope it does. I hope you can turn around much faster. You can see, you see there are people your age who are multimillionaire. And I'm talking about if you're a kid in his mid-20s, there are other kids out there, and you can find them on YouTube, who've started all kinds of businesses. They started, stuff with Amazon, flipping couches, flipping real estate, whatever it is. And maybe real estate's a pretty tough one to do, but there's some way you can start. And honestly, don't get a job as a waiter like I did, unless I suppose you want to learn some sort of people skills. But man, that was a slog. The point is, start with that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Highly recommend it. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. I immediately told myself, I want to be a very highly paid employee. I thought entrepreneurism was something that was out of my reach. I felt too much ambiguity around it, and I was a little scared. But I said, while working on a business, because I did start a small business and started growing it, and I learned a lot, and I'll tell you guys about that at some point. But I thought that my ticket out is going to be a highly paid employee. So I went to school. I said, what do I want to do? And I said, I want to either work in strategy consulting or in investment banking. I identified the companies where I thought I had a decent chance of going in without having to necessarily go to an Ivy League school, because you can do that. You can go to Harvard, you can go to Yale, and you can get almost any job at any company if you do go to a top level Ivy League school. But I thought, what is somewhat, I wouldn't say necessarily realistic, but I said, where can I be able to go to school, stay in the city that I was in, stay in the same state? Of course, you have to earn residency. I didn't want to keep waiting. I didn't want to have to move to Massachusetts, wait to get my residency so I can pay in-state tuition at a school like Harvard. Like, I'm in my late 20s. I don't got time to be moving around, building residency in different states. At least that was my mindset. But I made a decision. I said, I'm going to be a highly paid employee. I'm going to get into strategy consulting, or I'm going to go into investment banking, and I have to go to the best business school. I will have to get a graduate degree. I'll go to the best business school in Texas, and that allows me to stay in North Texas. And what do I have to do to get there? And so I looked at the profiles, the online profiles of current investment bankers and strategy consultants. I looked at what did they have? Lots of experience. They had lots of whatever degrees and certifications that they had. I went out and I started working on getting that kind of stuff. I, of course, went to school, graduated with top grades, with undergraduate degree. And you know what? It sucked, man. The work, it really sucked. It sucked being a 20-something-year-old man, especially one who looks the way I do. Back then, especially, I was fat. I shaved. That was about it. But I looked like maybe a 40-year-old frumpy loser of a man. And I'm sitting in 101 level courses with like 17 and 18-year-old kids who are looking at me like, what is this weirdo doing here? And it was super embarrassing. I fucking hated it. I hated being there. But you know what? I was super driven by my goal and my purpose. And I couldn't wait to get up every fucking morning to get to school. I would get into school early and I would sit there and study, and I was super, super driven. And that's the way I should have been. That's the way you should be when you first go to college, if that's the route that you're taking or whatever you're doing. But in my case, I finally had a goal and a purpose, and I knew what I was going to do. And so I worked towards it. Ended up graduating with great degrees, ended up getting my six-figure job straight out of graduate school, and my life has been amazing since then. Of course, now I'm in a process of working on my body. There's goals that I want to have, and for a while, when I didn't have that goal, when I said, this is what I want to look like, this is what I'm trying to work towards, I definitely got lost. I achieved one goal, and I got lost. So what I'm trying to get to you guys without letting this video get too long is just become a man of action. That's the number one thing. Become a man of action, take action. Don't sit there, don't let your life just pass you by, because that's what you're doing. You're sitting there, you're living comfortably with mommy and daddy, and first off, you know you're not going to get a girl if you don't have one already. You can't get a girl if you're living home with your parents, you're completely aimless, you have no plans of getting out. It's one thing to say you're there temporarily because you had a bad breakup. That's understandable, but you got to get out of it soon, because if you get comfortable, then it's going to hold you back. It certainly held me back, and man, it's fucking embarrassing to be in your 20s, your 30s, living with your parents. Come on, dude. Not only are you a financial burden on them, don't say, oh, I'm contributing to the household. Well, fucking get out of there, get a job, and then fucking pay off their mortgage if you really want to contribute to their household. Go buy them a fucking dream car, pay off their car, something. But don't sit there and keep sucking resources, say, well, I buy the groceries for them. Yeah, it might make you feel all right in the short term, but if you don't have a driven purpose and a goal to get out, you can get trapped and you can be stuck there, and you're not gonna feel any better. It's gonna wear on you eventually. You can keep trying to ignore it. You can keep drinking. You can keep playing your video games. You keep watching TV. Keep your headphones plugged in. Keep listening to music, and keep ignoring the reality of your current situation. So open up your eyes. Become a man of action. If you haven't done it already, pick up Think and Grow Rich. It will help you find your purpose. It will help you, it'll help motivate you, and it'll help you move on, improve your life.